Taiwan's main opposition candidate for president has promised to strengthen the island's defence against a Chinese attack. It comes just 2 days before Taiwan elects its new leader. Sky News Asia correspondent Stash Butler has more from Taipei.
Well, Hou Yu-ih, the main opposition Kuomintang candidate for president, a former police chief of the whole island, has framed this election as a choice between war and peace. He's hit out at the government under the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, accusing it of endangering Taiwan by refusing to hold dialogue, or rather failing to hold dialogue with Beijing. Now, it's worth pointing out China claims Taiwan as part of its territory, despite the Communist Party never having controlled it and has refused to rule out taking it by force. Here's what Hou had to say about that.
Facing China's challenges and risks, we must criticise. But the DPP government hasn't faced this question of how to hold dialogue, which has caused relations to deteriorate.
Now, Hou is proposing what he calls a 3 Ds policy. That's deterrence, dialogue and de-escalation. That means continuing to strengthen Taiwan's defence against a potential attack from China while opening channels of communication with Beijing. Now, Hou's KMT has historically enjoyed friendlier ties with Beijing, so he's hoping to leverage that and catapult himself into Taiwan's presidency.
And Stash, there are 3 candidates in this race for the presidency. How do the other 2 plan to handle Beijing?
Well, Lai Ching-te, the current vice president and candidate for the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, has broadly said that he'll continue the policy of the current president, Tsai Ing-wen. Now, that means that he doesn't rule out holding dialogue with Beijing, but insists that it comes with no preconditions. In the meantime, he's committed to strengthening Taiwan's military against an attack and building stronger partnerships with Taiwan's allies like the United States and Japan. Now, meanwhile, the third-party candidate, the former mayor of Taipei, a former surgeon called Ke Wen-je, is trying to forge a middle way through this highly polarized debate. He says the DPP is too confrontational when it comes to China, and the KMT is too submissive. He says that he would proceed on the basis of mutual respect and mutual goodwill. Now, it's worth pointing out, though, that despite the fact that the debate in Taiwan is often characterized as being between unification and independence, where the DPP has historically been associated with seeking Taiwanese independence, while the KMT has historically been associated with seeking unification, eventual unification with China. All of these 3 candidates agree that the Taiwanese people want to maintain the status quo. All of them have committed to strengthening Taiwan's defense against an attack. So really, a great deal of consensus on this issue, despite the differing rhetoric coming out of this highly contested debate.